everyone, today I'm going to be doing something super exciting. If any of you are new around here or you're newly subscribed or you just weren't watching YouTube through the summer, then you might not know that I did a book club with WHSmith. It was even more exciting for me after it was launched to see how many of you got involved and read the books. I was actually like blown away by the amount of you reading and buying the books and kind of tweeting me about them and tweeting the authors about them and tweeting each other actually, and not just tweeting, many forms of communication, but Twitter was where the hashtag was and where quite a lot of the author takeovers happened, and it was so nice to see so many of you enjoying things that I had recommended to you. So many of you read one and then wanted to read another and then another and another, and some of you were even reading all of them. It was unbelievably lovely to see, and I'm so happy that so many of you enjoyed all the books that I recommended. And getting to the point, I'm doing another round of the book club and I am so excited. If you watch my vlog channel, then you will already know that I have been reading non-stop since the last book club. And I'm super excited to be able to say that the second round of the book club is launching tomorrow, which is Thursday the 20th of October for you guys, and that is launching in WHSmith. Reading is something I thoroughly enjoy, and so to pass on that enjoyment to others really was such a lovely feeling. And so doing another round was kind of a no-brainer. I was so excited to kind of find some more amazing books that I know that you will all really love. As well as seeing how you guys react to all the books and kind of discuss it and talk amongst yourselves about all the picks of the book. By the way, yes, I do have a hairband cutting off the circulation to my finger right now. I'm not sure why. And it's wet and damp and that's disgusting. As well as that, I also loved picking the books. I think stories and books are quite personal to each person. I think people will take something away from a story or a book that someone else might not, and it kind of really resonates with how someone is feeling in terms of how they see or read or feel about a book. And so picking them, I feel like, is such a huge task. And so making sure I have the perfect 8 in order to share with you guys is important to me, and also I flippin' love doing it. So I feel like with this round, it's a little bit more diverse in a sense of genre and story, and also there are some kind of more seasonal themes in these books which you will see soon. I would 100% say out of these 8 books there is something for everybody, and I'm really happy and confident in saying that. I'm not going to be going into too much detail on the 8 titles I've selected in this video because I'm going to be talking a little bit more in depth about each one over on the WHSmith YouTube channel and blog, which I will leave a link to below, so you can go on over and check that out. Like last time, each title will be given 2 weeks of being the kind of chosen title. There will be author takeovers on Twitter, there will be Q&As, and actually do go on over and get involved in those, because even last time I was kind of watching them all happen and reading all the exclusive Q&As and the exclusive interviews with all the authors, and I find them so interesting because when you have invested your time and imagination into a book, it's so nice to be able to hear more from the person who created it, and who obviously that story means absolutely everything to, and you learn so much more about the books that you've read and just things you never knew or hadn't ever thought about before. And all the authors are so lovely and helpful and just generally very proud of their books, and it's really lovely to see. So do get involved in those, and if you have any questions about the book, then obviously that would be the time to do it. So each book will be kind of highlighted for its 2 weeks, and during that 2-week time it will be half price. So the first book to be kicking off the book club is, where is it? This one, called If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. Obviously, without going into too much detail, this story is about a trans girl who is kind of finding her feet when it comes to friendships, school, romance, and I think just generally in life, and it was so eye-opening. I think this is such an important book. I think absolutely everybody should read this, and obviously I'll be going into a lot more detail, but this one, absolutely loved it. Also worth noting again that every book I've selected for the book club has its exclusive to WHSmith covers, and they're all so amazing and they all look really great together. As you guys know, I love a horror, I love a thriller, so reading a thriller and a horror around the time of Halloween I think is just kind of perfect. So this one is called Frozen Charlotte by Alex Bell, and it is so creepy and amazing. I'm not sure I'd recommend you reading this before bed, but I loved it. It's about a girl called Sophie who goes to stay at her cousin's house, and lots of creepy things keep happening around these little porcelain Frozen Charlotte dolls. On the front cover it says, "We're waiting for you to come and play." It's creepy, and you will never look at small china dolls in the same way ever again. Next up is this one, which, I mean, the front cover of this I absolutely love. This is I Was Here by Gail Foreman. I always love looking at your book recommendations, and so many of you recommended I read a Gail Foreman book, which is what I did, and I loved this book. So at the start of the book there's a girl called Cody whose best friend Meg has recently committed suicide, and it's got a little bit of mystery in there, and it's also just a very emotional and heartfelt story of how a girl is coping after the loss of one of her best friends. And this was so touching and so unbelievably, like, almost raw. It was a really good book. I would highly recommend this. And also it's just a lovely tale of friendship and a little bit of romance thrown in there as well. Next up is the book A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This book is so, I'm gonna say, magical and almost poetic. It's about a little boy whose mother is very ill. It's so hard to explain without giving it away, but the imagery in this book is really amazing, and it proper tugs on your heartstrings. Like, you're gonna need a pack of tissues to read this one. I believe this is being made into a film, which makes me so excited because after reading it, the first thing I wanted to do was almost watch it, if that makes any sense. I think you'll know. If you've read this, you'll know what I mean. The next one is The 12 Days of Dash and Lily by Rachel Conn and David Levithan. Obviously, as you can see, with the 12 days and the fact that it looks like it's been gift wrapped, is based around Christmas. I can't have thrillers in there to be based around Halloween and not have something in there that's a little nod to Christmas, because you guys know how much I love Christmas. And I feel like there's nothing better than listening to Christmas songs, watching Christmas films, but also reading Christmas books, because they do say the imagination will always conjure up something that's way better than anything you could ever watch. So that's why I thought a Christmas book would be really great. This is about a guy and a girl called Dash and Lily, and they are a couple and they have been for a year, and it's just about Dash, who is her boyfriend, I think, finding not just the spirit of Christmas in Lily, but her spirit. And I think it's a really lovely story, and after reading this, I wanted to read it all over again. The next one is called Lying About Last Summer, You Can't Hide the Truth. This is by Sue Wallman, and this story is, again, another thriller with twists and turns and everything that's amazing about a thriller novel. Again, this touches a little bit on grief and a little bit of romance with big twists and turns, and I don't really want to give too much away, but I really loved this book. It was great. Next up is a book that you may have seen me talk about before in one of my favourites, but I was so happy I was able to put this into the book club because I love this story. This is by Sophie Kinsella, and this is called Finding Audrey. This book is based around a girl who is suffering with mental illness, and it also has a little bit of kind of self-discovery and romance. And I really enjoyed this because there were traits in Audrey that I could see in myself, and I think that always works very well when you're reading a character that you're like, I do that, like I could really relate to her as a character. So overall, I would recommend checking this one out also. Lastly, if you're after something a little bit more light, a bit funny, a little bit of romance, and some real like kind of emotional roller coasters. You have got Page Tunes, The One We Fell in Love With, about 3 women who all have one thing in common, which is the same guy. This is one of those books that's an absolute page turner. I loved it, and I honestly think that you should all read it. So there we go. That is the 8 books in the second round of the book club, which I'm now finally so excited to get to share with you. Ooh. Let me know in the comments if you've already read any of these and what you thought of them, obviously without giving anything away. If any of these have bumped right to the top of your to-read list, and which ones, because I am super interested. Don't forget, across the next 16 weeks, there will be more in-depth reviews of each of these books over on the WHSmith channels, which I will leave below. And as I mentioned before, there's gonna be author interviews, Q&As, extra chapters, videos. There's going to be lots of amazing content to go alongside each of these stories, which I really do recommend you check out because I absolutely love all the exclusive moreness of each book. That's everything that I get to share with you in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and again, thank you so much for being so amazing about the book club. The response has been fantastic. I just love seeing people reading and enjoying what they're reading, and I think that's the most important thing. Pick up a book, read it, when you're done, pass it on to someone else who you know will love it. And if you want to read all of them, you can buy the 8-book bundle online for £35, so I will leave a link to that as well, but for only 1 week. So if you want all 8 books at discounted price, check out the website. They did that last time and it proved to be really successful because apparently a lot of you are bookworms and you didn't just want 1 or 2, you wanted to read the whole lot, which I applaud you for, and I hope you enjoyed them. It's like a sauna in here, so I'm gonna go. And I hope you're having an amazing week. I will see you again at the end of the week. I love you very much, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!